think it's recording now. I hope so. And I know I got like a yellow light, but we do what we can. So, hi YouTube, it's been a while, Hala here. I wanted to do a quick video A, to get myself back in the habit of it before the new year, and B, because I wanted to do a quick review of the year, and then also a goal thing. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do it real quick, starting with not necessarily a review of the year, but a quick list of the books that I read this year. I used to read a lot of books. Middle school, I was reading more than anything, and then once I started drawing, I wasn't reading quite as much because I was reading some graphic novels, but mostly I was creating my own. So there was a long period of time where I read a couple books here and there. This year I will have completed 36 books. 36 books. I'm in the last one right now as an audiobook. I don't know why I picked up my empty phone case, because I'm filming on my phone right now. I am halfway through the last audiobook I'm going to do this year, and that is one of the Twisted Tale books, but I will go through the whole list and get to that in a second here. So in more or less chronological order, but once we get into the series, it kind of gets out of order. So I'm just gonna list groups, and I'll put a picture. I don't know if I'm centered or not because I don't have the flip screen on this, but I will try to get a little book cover for you guys, just to show what the book looks like and stuff, you know, sharing into the books that I completed during 2020. This is a combination of physical copies and a lot of audiobooks, actually. I never was able to really listen to audiobooks before this year. Just starting in June, really. That's when I think end of May, June was when I first started listening to audiobooks thanks to the Libby app. And not to say I'm addicted to it, but I'm really glad that I have the audiobooks, because there's so much dead time between like driving to and from work or like doing stuff around the house, and I'm just so tired of listening to the same music over and over. So this has been really good. So the first book, this was a physical read. It was Eliza and Her Monsters. I'm not going to get up and down and grab all the books because they're already tucked away in pretty shelves. So I'll just put that picture up there for you. Eliza and Her Monsters. It was strongly recommended by Cordy, aka Stephanie. Oh my gosh, I related to this book so hard because it's about a girl in high school who draws comics, and like she's kind of like famous for that. And then as soon as it like starts falling into her private life, that things happen. I just related really hard to that, like wanting to be there for my online community with my comic people and like that part of the world. I didn't have any of that like cutesy romance that she got. But it's a really great book. Such a good book. The second book that I read is a sort of, not quite a sequel, but a companion novel to Howl's Moving Castle, which I read in end of 2019, I believe. And that's The House of Many Ways, also by, oh gosh, by the author there. I don't know. Don't worry about it. The next set of books that I was able to finish as audiobooks were Graceling, Fire, and Bitterblue. I finished Graceling and Fire first, and then I heard mixed things about Bitterblue, so I put that off for a while. But I did finish it. I think my favorite one is Graceling of the three. The next set is an incomplete series, but I did a buddy read review with, gosh, I keep switching. I'm just going to call you Cordy on YouTube, and maybe Stephanie and Cordy. Y'all must know her. Her name is Cordy. We did a buddy review of the last two books that came out in the Miss Peregrine's School for Peculiar... No, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I don't know why I said school. I'm thinking of X-Men. So I listened to the audiobooks for all of these. I don't have physical copies yet. I just got Map of Days as a physical copy for Christmas. It is the fourth of the five, with the sixth coming out next year. So I'm like, I don't have 1, 2, and 3. I can't even like lend it to somebody to read it. But I'll get 1, 2, and 3 because I'm probably gonna get the box set. I do love me box sets. So I went through the first trilogy and I thought it was pretty solid. The second trilogy thus far is borderline. It could turn out well, but it could also go very wrong. So we'll see, and that comes out in February. And I'll do a quick list when this is over to talk about the books that I want to read next year. But right now we're just doing what I read in 2020. The next 2 series are probably not as well known in the current AuthorTube community. They're older books. I don't even know. Let me double check when they're copyrighted. 1980s. Looks like 1980s. And these books are written by the author David Eddings. He's done several books in this world, essentially. The first series is 5 books. It's the Belgariad series. And the second part of that is also 5 books, and that's the Malorian series. Now these are, I wouldn't say quite high fantasy because there's not like a bunch of mythical creatures, but you have like sorcerers and definitely magical elements. But it's definitely a very, very strong sort of Lord of the Rings, that age of fantasy. My husband recommended them to me because he read them when he was in middle school or however, and I found the audiobooks on Libby, listened through them, loved them. Now we have the hard copies. That was his Christmas gift. I'm just missing 1. Not of the 2 series, but there's like 2 companion novels, and I'm missing 1 of those because it got lost in Detroit. Ruined Christmas. Just a little bit. Next, 3. These have been sprinkled throughout the year, and these were a reread. And these were actually Cordy, aka Stephanie's books, the Ashport Archives, and I've beta read for her, and I've kind of been with her through the process of writing these. So in preparation for the 4th book coming out next year, I reread all of them, and we actually have a secret project for them coming soon. But yes, I just finished the 3rd book like a couple days ago, so I'm ready for that 4th draft alpha beta read. So after that, a single book is Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology. My husband got it for Christmas. The cover is gorgeous. The cover is so gorgeous. And I think Norse mythology might be my top mythology at the moment. It does play in a lot with my book that I'm writing right now, or my series. So when he was done reading it, I read it in a day because it's super quick and easy read. So I read Norse mythology yesterday, literally yesterday. Let's see, what else did I read? I read the first 2 in the Percy Jackson series via audiobook. I was very interested and excited to read it. Also, it has gorgeous covers for this set, and I wanted them because of the covers. I enjoyed the movies when they came out for what they were, but now knowing what the books are, I couldn't even finish watching the first movie again. This was not the same. So, but I only read the first 2 of the, I believe it's a 5-book series as well. A few more books here, For those who know Tamora Pierce, she is my favorite author. I was able to reread, but I haven't read these since I was in middle school, so I'm just going to say I read them. And I went through the Lioness Quartet, or the Alana Quartet. I'm not sure what the proper title for that is, but it's definitely one that I've never forgotten over the years since I read it. And I was fortunate enough to acquire some more of her books this year, so I will be able to read those as well next year. But that was a quartet, so that was 4 books. And lastly, but not least, Disney's Twisted Tales. I'm not a sucker for everything Disney, but these, I might have to have them all. So all of these so far I've gone through as audiobooks. I'm on the 6th one right now. I'm currently listening to Reflection, which is the Mulan Twisted Tale, and once I finish that, then that'll be my 36th book of the year. The other ones I read were As Tale as Old as Time, Once Upon a Dream, Part of Your World, A Whole New World, and Straight On Till Morning. So I really enjoyed them. Maybe once I actually catch up with all the books that are released, I'll do like a review on each of them. But for now, I'm just listing off books because I don't want this video to go too long. So that is all 36 books that I have completed this year. Without any intention to necessarily. I just filled in time and, getting back into books and reading has definitely helped me as a writer. It's not necessarily because of reading have I done less writing, but I feel like I am more perceptive to tropes and just my general likes and dislikes, and also just like writing style. So it's been good. It's been a pretty good year for 2020 for books. It was a nice little surprise. So yeah, those were my 2020 reads, and now I'm going to tell you guys what my plans are for 2021. Alrighty, hopefully we're still in camera in a good spot and still yellow. 2021, I'm not trying to put a number on how many books I want to read, but I have a list of books that are on my shelf right now, as well as, everything on my list is either completing a series I've started or it's on my shelf. I'm not going to purchase any other books until these are completed, which will be quite motivating because, like I said, I have Map of Days, which is the 4th in the Peregrine series, but I need 1, 2, and 3. So I need to get at least through a good number of the books that I own before I get the physical copies for the other Miss Peregrine books. So without further ado, that'd be great if I had 21 books of 2021, but it's a little more than that. So we'll see. Currently on the list there are 22 books. So who knows, maybe it'll happen to be 21. I don't know. I'm not planning these things. I'm just writing them down. So obviously one of the books that I have to finish next year is the final book in the Miss Peregrine series, which is Desolation of Devil's Acre, and that comes out in February. The other books that I would like to finish, which are currently on my shelf, is the Immortals Quartet by Tamora Pierce, because Tamora Pierce. I actually didn't write the other ones on here. It's going to be more than 22, guys. It's going to be more than 22. Yep, so I totally forgot about 2 books that I had on my shelf that I wanted to read, and I have the audiobooks ready to borrow, but I wrote them down there, so now we're at 24. Okay, so anyway, Miss Peregrine's number 6. The Twisted Tales currently has 10 books. I'm on the 6th, so there's 4, but I just saw, thank you Target.com, that the 11th book is coming out in April, I believe. I want to say April, and it's called Go the Distance, and it is a Hercules one. Obviously, like, Meg is the main character, but it's a Hercules one, so yes. So I wrote it down on the list, so hopefully if I can complete the other ones by then, that can kind of be my, like, reward for getting a new one. So that would include Mirror Mirror, the Snow White retelling, or Twisted Tale, Conceal Don't Feel, Frozen, So This Is Love, Cinderella, Mary, is it Unbirth? I think it's maybe just Unbirthday. I wrote down Mary Unbirthday, which is Alice in Wonderland, and then Go the Distance, which would be Hercules. So those 5 books, which brings us to 6. Oh, and I mentioned the Immortals Quartet already, so that brings us to 10. Piggybacking onto the Tamora Pierce train, I also have the Trickster's Choice and Trickster's Queen, is that what they're called? Yeah. Which comes after the Linus Quartet that I finished. It's Alana's daughter, I believe. So I'm very excited about that. And that's a duology. The next 2 on the list are the companion novels to the Belgariad and the Malorian. The first one should actually be Belgarath, which is the older sorcerer, but he's the one that got lost in Detroit, so I have to reorder him. And Polgara, which is the daughter / sorceress, who is awesome. I have that. I read through the prologue before realizing, oh, Belgarath came first, so might have to stick a bookmark in that and leave it for later. The next book is Sorcery of Thorns, which this was on one of Cordy's reviews. It's supposed to be a standalone fantasy, and I'm very, very curious because there's not a lot of good standalone fantasies. I feel like you have series, which can be great, but I'm really curious to see how a standalone works. And also the cover is very pretty, so why not? And I got the physical copy of that for Christmas as well, so it's on the list. It's on the shelf. It's on the list. Then jumping to Percy Jackson, I still have to go through books 3, 4, and 5. Audiobooks, I'm just going to do that. I don't think I will end up buying a hard copy of the series, because while I'm enjoying the audiobooks, not as much as I have enjoyed other ones. The next 4 are very well known. I've only ever read one of them, and that was The Hobbit. And we have The Hobbit and the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy. So those are on my list. Probably towards the end of the year, though. And the last 2 on the list currently is, of course, the 4th book in the Ashport series as an alpha beta reader. And then her other novel that she's working on editing so she can publish, hopefully this year. Or not this year because it's still 2020. Next year, in 2021. And that would be the Humane Society for Creatures and Cryptids, aka Hisfakak, aka Yay Fantasy Creatures. So those make up my not so pretty list of 24 books for 2021. So that's not bad. That takes like 2 books a month. So I think I can handle that with everything else I need to do. So there you have it. Not quite the quickest video I've done, but at least there's content. It wasn't just like a vlog and here's my puppy, which puppy didn't make an appearance. So those were the books that I read in 2020 and the books I plan to read in 2021. I'm going to do a separate video with goals and an overall year recap, just because this took a lot. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. If any of the books were on your list or you feel like adding them, awesome. Let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't and you would like to, please subscribe, leave a comment, send me a message, whatever you feel like doing. I hope you guys have had a good year for reading. Wasn't really sure how to word that one. I hope you read a lot of books. Or, whatever your hobby is. Like, I hope you were able to pursue that this year and will be able to pursue it even further next year with whatever your goal may be. This is where I get rambly, so I'm gonna go and edit this video like a good uploader. Yes. So.
Is it recording? Audio. Testing, testing. Look at that cute puppy face.
Without further ado, thank you again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.